What you are about to hear and see is a board hearing meeting at Santa Clara Unified School District in 2004 in Santa Clara, California, when we feel racism at its ugliest was seen. Check it out.
So, the fact that the three rubrics that were provided to me by Mr. Pastorini had several areas where I was given no scores. In other areas in which I feel I had very valid and worthwhile scores, I really did not feel that the interview process was valid. But if I back you way up to, I think, some of the information you've already been given, the day that I first sent my email to Mr. Perotti was in regards to a visit I had from Mr. Pastorini. It was in March, I think it was March, could have been 12th or 13th, whatever the Friday would be, after a board meeting. There was a board meeting in March, which was the first town hall meeting. And at that meeting, the board spoke to the community and said no decisions would be made in regards to budget cuts until we had followed a process of board meetings and community input, staff input. Yet, because of provisions that are in the either Ed Code or California structure, I understand that Mr. Pastorini needed to notify staff members if there was a possibility that their position could be eliminated. And as such, he had to meet a March 15th deadline. So he came to our campus at George Main to deliver me a notice of release of administrative services. And when he arrived, I was in the front office, and he didn't see me. I was speaking with a student. And when he didn't see me, he said, "I guess you know why I'm here." And I said, "No, I don't." And he says, "I'm here to give you the notice, release of administrative services." So I said, "Okay." It was a Friday, and we have, what we have is a tree day. So we went back to the area where there are trees. And do you need somebody to identify themselves? No, okay. And I tried to be present as well as I thought Mr. Pastorini would be present. But basically, what initiated my hot email to Mr. Perotti was such that previous to that day, Mr. Pastorini had told all 5 assistant principals that there would be 2 positions that we could apply for. And there was 5 of us trying to apply for 2 positions. And what they were the interim position, principal position at Hughes, and then the Pomeroy position, because Ms. Tucker had not yet said she was going to retire. And yet at that meeting, when we were having coffee and donuts, Mr. Pastorini began to have a little change of attitude, and he said to me, "You know, what are you and your husband trying to insinuate at these board meetings?" And I said, my husband and I, if we said anything at board meetings, we try to be very clear, and we're just involved in the process. And he says, "Well, you know, if you want to, you can apply for 1 position." And I said, "There are 2." He says, "No, there's 1." And I said, "Well, you still need to apply to Hugh's position." And he says, "No, I don't. I don't need to apply to Hugh's position because that position is going to Lori." I'm uncomfortable using your name, but anyway, to.
Yeah, I think because this gentleman is taking photographs, he should identify himself.
Can I say something?
Yes.
That's Mr. Morales from El Observador, publisher of the Mexican newspaper here in San Jose.
Well, the record needs to show it.
Okay, well, I just want you to be aware of that.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Anyway, what I said was to Mr. Pastorini, I'm not given an equal opportunity to apply for positions in this district because, first of all, this other individual was appointed the position, has held it for 1 year, and now it should be flown. And he said, "I'm not going to waste my time and energy and other people's time and energy to fly a position when we all know it's her position." And my apologies to Roseanne in advance, but he did use your name. And he said, "Roseanne wants her to have it, I want her to have it, and her entire staff has signed a petition, of which I presented to the board last night. And while I was at the board meeting, I never saw that petition presented, but he later told me he presented it in closed session. And everybody on the staff is happy with the job she's doing, and the job's hers. When all is said and done, the job will be hers, and we're not going to waste time and energy flying this position. Well, that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear. And so there was a staff member present in the room at the time when we were having a little exchange. Just one. It was in the staff room, and it was during instructional time. But this one other member was in the office, and he was getting a little angry, and she got a little bit nervous, tried to distance herself. And I said, the fair procedure would be to have a committee, a neutral committee, by the position, have a neutral committee, and then to also have community members. In addition to community members, there should also be district personnel, he said. Rudell and I will be the district personnel. The committee has already decided they want her, and this is just a waste of time. I really don't need to find it. So one of the things that I said in my letter to Mr. Perotti was, if in fact our district has changed the policies and procedures of getting jobs, whereby staff members can sign a petition, and if they're all in agreement, the person can have the job, then what if everyone on my staff signed a petition and said that I should keep my job? And what if everybody at Ponderosa signed a petition and said that Meg Jackson could keep her job, or that Enrique Pin could keep his job? And if we had 100% consensus at each school, would we all have our jobs saved? That there were parents who came in support of Latino administrators at the previous board meeting, that they signed a petition and said that they wanted us. Is that what the rules were going to be? Because what's fair for one should be fair for all. Anyway, he said, you know, you're just mad that you don't get the job. And I said, no, I'm mad because I'm not given the opportunity to apply for jobs. And then about that time, the bell rang, it was break. And so rather than continue sort of a hostile conversation in the presence of employees coming in, we got up and moved to another room. And fully aware that he's my supervisor and wanting to change the tone of the discussion, we began to discuss something different in the adjoining room, which is called the conference room next to the front office at George Main. And what I then began to discuss with him was a comic conference and that I had attended, and I wanted to offer that I could make a presentation to board members or to administrative staff of the 2 workshops I attended, in which the Mexican Council wanted to form a partnership with local school districts to provide materials free of charge, valuable materials to the school district. And I thought in a time of economic crisis